14 days ago, I made a decision that my friends thought was genuinely a little strange. I told them I was going to eat bean sprouts, and only bean sprouts as my daily health addition, every single day for 2 weeks straight. No skipping, no excuses, and I was going to track everything. My energy, my digestion, my skin, my weight, my sleep, all of it. And honestly, what happened surprised even me, because I went into this thinking it was going to be a boring little experiment with zero payoff. I was wrong. So if you've ever walked past those little white crunchy things in the grocery store and thought, yeah, I don't know what to do with those, stick with me, because this video might genuinely change how you see one of the most underrated foods on the planet. Before we get into the results, a little context. I'm not a doctor or a nutritionist. I'm just someone obsessed with figuring out how food actually affects the human body in real life. The kind of life most of us are actually living. I work long hours. I sit at a desk, probably more than I should, and like a lot of people in their late 20s or 30s, I've started paying way more attention to what I eat because I started feeling the consequences of not paying attention. Sluggish afternoons, bloating, skin that just looks tired. Sound familiar? So I started researching foods with genuinely strong scientific backing, not trendy superfoods with a $40 price tag. And I kept coming back to one thing: the humble, cheap, wildly accessible bean sprout. The science setup. Here's what got me. A 2012 study published in the Journal of the Science of Food and Agriculture found that sprouting a bean dramatically increases its nutritional value compared to the original unsprouted legume. Significant increases in vitamin C, folate, and several B vitamins. Sprouting activates enzymes that break down anti-nutrients like phytic acid, the compound that normally blocks your body from absorbing minerals, like iron and zinc. So you're not just eating more nutrients, your body is actually absorbing more of them. That distinction matters enormously. And among bean sprouts specifically, the most common variety globally, have been studied pretty extensively. A 100-gram serving contains only about 30 calories, but delivers 3 grams of protein, 2 grams of fiber, 15% of your daily folate requirement, and meaningful amounts of magnesium, phosphorus, and manganese. For 30 calories, that ratio is genuinely hard to beat. Days 1 to 7. Day 1, I tossed a big handful into a salad. Nothing dramatic happened. They tasted fresh, slightly nutty, a little earthy. By day 3, I was having them twice a day, and something small, but real shifted. My digestion felt noticeably smoother. A 2019 review in the journal Nutrients confirms that increased dietary fiber improves gut transit time and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. The gut microbiome affects everything from immune function to mood through what scientists call the gut-brain axis. So even a subtle digestive shift in those early days is likely not a placebo. It's your gut responding to an increase in prebiotic fiber. By days 4 and 5, my afternoon energy crash, that classic 2 p.m. fog, was noticeably less intense. Bean sprouts have a low glycemic index, meaning they don't spike your blood sugar the way refined carbs do. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has consistently shown that low GI diets are associated with sustained energy and improved cognitive performance throughout the day. I'm one data point, but it lined up exactly with the science. Days 6 and 7, my skin started doing something interesting. Less puffy in the mornings, more even in tone. Bean sprouts are rich in vitamin C. A single cup provides around 15% of your daily requirement. And vitamin C is a critical cofactor in collagen synthesis. A 2017 review in Nutrients confirmed that adequate vitamin C intake is directly linked to skin health and reducing oxidative stress in skin cells. The folate content matters here too. It's involved in DNA repair and cell regeneration, both of which affect how your skin looks and recovers. Days 8 to 10. Before I continue, if you're finding this useful, please give this video a like right now. It helps more people find this content, and it genuinely takes you 2 seconds. Thank you. Days 8 through 10, I started feeling what I can only describe as lighter. Not dramatically lighter on the scale, though I did lose about 1.2 kilograms over the full 2 weeks, without changing anything else, but a general sense of less heaviness. A 2014 study in the International Journal of Food, Science and Nutrition found that mung bean sprouts contain polyphenols and flavonoids, bioactive plant compounds with measurable anti-inflammatory effects. Chronic low-grade inflammation is linked to everything from joint pain and fatigue to cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. You can't feel inflammation directly, but you can sometimes feel its absence once you start reducing it. Days 11 to 14. The final stretch. Fully in the rhythm now. Sprouts in a morning egg scramble, in salads at lunch, in stir-fries at dinner. This is when I noticed something I hadn't been tracking. My sleep quality. Falling asleep faster, waking up more rested. Bean sprouts contain a meaningful amount of magnesium, and magnesium deficiency is incredibly common globally. A 2012 review in the Journal of Research in Medical Sciences found that magnesium plays a direct role in regulating neurotransmitters that calm the nervous system and promote sleep. I'm not saying bean sprouts are a sleep supplement, but the dots connect. By day 14, my skin had a clarity I'd been chasing with far more expensive products. Energy through the day was more consistent. Digestion was effortless in a way that made me realize how much low-level discomfort I'd been living with before, and I genuinely felt less inflamed. In my joints, in my face, just generally. The reality check. Now I want to be straight with you, because this isn't a miracle food video. Raw bean sprouts, if not handled carefully, carry a small but real risk of bacterial contamination, specifically Salmonella and E. coli, because the warm, moist conditions they grow in are also ideal for bacteria. The CDC has documented outbreaks linked to raw sprouts. If you're pregnant, elderly, or immunocompromised, cook your sprouts rather than eating them raw. That's not fear-mongering, that's food safety. I rinsed mine thoroughly and moved mostly to lightly cooked sprouts in the second week, which research suggests reduces risk dramatically, while preserving the majority of nutritional value. Also, bean sprouts complement a good diet. They don't replace one. If you're eating them alongside ultra-processed food, the benefit will be muted. Here's where I land. Bean sprouts are one of the most nutritionally dense, lowest calorie, most affordable foods you can eat, and almost nobody talks about them. A 2020 study in food chemistry found that mung bean consumption was inversely associated with obesity and markers of metabolic syndrome across large population samples. That's not coincidence. That's a pattern. Populations that eat them regularly show measurably better metabolic health, and the science explains exactly why. My practical takeaway for you is simple. You don't need to overhaul your diet. You don't need to spend much money. Just start adding 1 or 2 handfuls of bean sprouts to meals you're already eating a few times a week. The compound effect of doing that consistently, based on what I experienced and what the research supports, shows up in your body faster than you'd expect. 14 days, 1 small, cheap, crunchy vegetable, and I genuinely feel different for it. If you made it to the end, thank you, genuinely. If this gave you something useful, hit subscribe, because I do these deep dives regularly, sir, and I put real work into making sure the science is accurate, and the content is worth your time. See you in the next one!